everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from rainy Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, there are rumors afoot, Dan.
There are rumors of, what is the scriptural reference? Wars and rumors of wars.
Yes.
Where would there be rumors of wars?
You know, hey, did you hear about that war?
Hey, have you heard about Crimea?
What about Crimea?
I don't know. Look, it's just a rumor. I'm just saying.
Apparently.
But what I heard is...
Yeah. Anyway, a common pastime for a lot of Mormons leading up to General Conference is, what kind of announcements are coming this time?
Oh, yeah. There's some guesswork happening out there.
And we've never really covered any of that. And so this, if in case you don't know, General Conference is a twice annual big Mormon snooze-a-thon.
When all the Mormons
2 days
excitedly gather together to... It's the worst.
Yeah,
but they do make, if they make a big announcement, it's often there, and people feel like change is in the air for the Mormon church.
Is in the air. Well, they have that new prophet, that young man leading the church.
I mean, he's a spry 91?
Something along those lines. He's old, but he's got ideas. He's an idea man.
Yeah, he's definitely got his own ideas, that's for sure.
He's pushing through some changes before he dies.
Yeah. Man, I know that a lot of our listeners, most of our listeners are not Mormon, but
I believe that's true.
It is a crazy religion to follow. So I hope you guys get as much entertainment out of it as we do.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, it's just like, it's one of these newer sort of burnt over district religions.
Right.
With, modern American religions, and it's fun to watch the tossing and turning.
They've had to try to modernize.
All the religions are trying to modernize.
Right, but they've had to try to modernize out of, polygamy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they were hip and modern 150 years ago, and now they're just trying to stay cutting edge.
Yeah, I know. Then boy, they're not.
No.
Anywho. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a story.
I'd
like to share with you.
Share the whole story. It's okay.
I know this is gonna get your attention, Dan.
Okay.
The Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN. Pat Robertson's own network.
Yeah. Saved recently from the torrential rain of the hurricane.
Yeah, thanks to Pat Robertson.
Thanks to
and all of your prayers.
Yes, yeah.
We know a lot of you were praying for.
Well, we all prayed very hard
for CBN. Well, they are announcing, his son in particular, Gordon Robertson.
Oh, okay.
Is announcing a new 24-hour news network.
Uh-oh.
With obviously Christian slant.
That's not just called Fox?
No, this is actually they're not fully satisfied with Fox. Fox is far too to the left for these people.
Right. Every now and then Shep Smith sneaks one by them or something.
No, they're actually going to be airing on in 15 different markets. Okay. In the U.S. They're hitching a ride on one of those little substations on the digital channels.
Okay, so so they're going actual broadcast, not cable.
This is actual broadcast news network.
So literally all 8 people in every market that still watch broadcast TV will be like,
they can pick it up.
It's a news station.
Well, let me tell you though, Christians, they'll seek it out. Evangelicals,
sure,
of the Christians of this ilk, will seek it out. They want their CBN news. They want it 24 hours a day.
They hunger and thirst after this news.
And when you start to think about the fact that Donald Trump likes to use evangelical outlets over mainstream media a lot of time, because they don't question him.
Yeah,
they don't have sort of the journalistic standards that even a Fox News would have.
Right.
right?
Yeah, they don't have. I mean, you use the term journalistic standards as though they're going to employ anything remotely resembling that.
Well, the thing is, it will look like journalism. It'll have the trappings of journalism.
Sure.
There'll be somebody holding a microphone talking into it.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
and
it'll be lapel clipped like a pro.
I'm talking about like a reporter out on the street.
Oh, yes, that's true.
And their name will be on the screen, and there'll be a little ticker running across the bottom of the screen.
Chirons and scrolls and all the bugs.
They'll stand in front of green screens and bloody blah.
I just want to see a Christian weather report where it's like, and down south here in Richmond, the Lord has caused that there should be flooding, and the Lord,
but the good people,
the Lord has blessed Arizona over here with lovely.
They've been praying hard, and they're reaping their rewards. Look at all that sunshine down there. So this obviously is worrisome, because Gordon Robertson said that people who are pointing out this kind of stuff, that they're criticizing them for going soft on President Trump and other people who they like and agree with. He says, what I think is missing is an opportunity for someone to come in and just tell their story from their point of view. Not give it an angle, not try to be argumentative. I think we've been criticized for allowing people to speak, but from my point of view, we want that.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
So shocked.
Letting politicians and powerful people just have a microphone.
Finally.
To be able to just say, to give their perspective and say what's on their mind, unfettered by, things like facts and checking. Yeah. Backgrounds, all that sort of thing. No. That's not what we're into at all.
What we like is the spin part.
Right.
We love that.
But they don't even need spin on ours. This is truly a spin-free zone because
you can just lie to us.
Just flat out
look
lie
directly into the camera and say whatever bullshit you want to. You don't have to spin it.
We trust you.
Yeah,
you're telling the truth. Why would you lie?
He's wearing a tie, for God's sake. A tie!
The Lord elected him president of these United States.
Right.
Who are we to question him?
Lindsey Graham is a white man. Why shouldn't we listen to him? All right. This is a very interesting story. There is a group called the Better Church Governance Group. It is a Catholic organization that includes 6 former U.S. cardinals.
Okay.
And they have announced that they are going to spend over $1 million investigating the College of Cardinals, which is the group that elects the Pope.
Whoa. Okay.
So very important cardinals in within the church.
They're investigating them?
For
what?
They are looking for signs that they either were molesters or aided and abetted molesters within the church.
Holy shit.
So,
holy shit.
I think that's a very interesting thing for them to be doing. They're calling it the Red Hat Report, which is cute. Because they all wear those red hats, you see.
Their little chapeaus.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, so they're funded entirely by like sort of wealthy Catholics.
Really? So this is not self-financed by wealthy cardinals.
No, no.
Okay. No, I'm sure they're keeping their.
Here's the thing. What it does is it makes me suspicious that they won't actually work hard at it.
Oh, you think this is like a smokescreen?
Well, it's
of some kind.
It could go either way. The thing is, if they come back and like all of the cardinals are clean as a whistle, we'll know to be very suspicious.
Yeah.
But if they come back with a report that's pretty brutal, who's going to question them?
Yeah.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Holy fact. That's,
you know what I mean?
This is potentially very threatening to the core, to the whole structure of
I mean,
Catholicism.
I mean, if they're
The Curia is not going to like this.
No, but I kind of love it. I kind of love that it's happening. What they're going to do is they're going to rate each cardinal each cardinal will either get what?
No, I'm just imagining like some sort of scale of how
hotness.
rapey he is. You're
going to rate each cardinal there are several scales.
0 being not very rapey.
Right.
10 being, a child cannot even walk into the room.
Okay, they're going to rate them on a rapey scale, but then they're also going to go for like hotness. They're going to rate them on a
It's hot or not.
Right. No, they're gonna here's how each of the ratings will look. They're strong evidence of abuse / corruption.
Oh boy.
Or some evidence to positive evidence against abuse or corruption.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I don't know how you have any positive evidence against abuse or corruption. Proving a negative is not really a logical concept in this case.
Yeah.
But
we'll see what they come up with.
We'll see what they do. It'll just be interesting to watch because, again, like I say, if they come back with like, of the 100 or so.
Well,
current it's 124 current papal electors, and
wow.
if 20 or more of them come back with like strong evidence that they're corrupt or that they're evil,
yeah,
that'll be a big deal.
Yeah.
Of course, also what's happening within the church is a whole bunch of political machinations, and this could just be an arm of that.
Right.
It's hard to know. But
these
very
are these cardinals trying to get themselves into they're trying to free up some space.
I think these are
become electors.
These are former cardinals that are on the board. So
okay, all right,
there you go.
Well, Dan, that actually sadly segues into a story that I was going to try to avoid.
Oh God,
story wise. But I came across this story earlier this week and was just absolutely mortified. There's been an investigation into a group called the Antonio Provolo Institute for Deaf and Mute Children.
Oh God,
which
you're gonna break my heart right now.
Yeah, which is they have a location, I guess, up in northern Italy, maybe inside or outside of. I think it's in Verona, actually. Beautiful Verona, where we set our stage, or whatever.
In fair Verona. Good.
And then also they have at least this article mentions also a location in Argentina.
Okay.
So the investigators in Verona have been looking into allegations of sex abuse that was
of deaf and mute
or boys.
Oh God,
who were placed in this institute, obviously to receive an education. They were being taught.
Is this a Catholic?
It's
institute?
a Catholic institution, operated by priests and brothers of the institute or whatever.
Yeah.
And they, the boys are there because they were being taught sign language and how to communicate and just probably just normal school stuff once they got that down.
Right.
And yeah, so anyway, this article follows the story of Giuseppe. That's what they're calling him. It's not his real name. When he was 11, one of the monks started teaching him sort of special secret signs for things like masturbation, fellatio, penis, anus, so forth and so on. And he says that at first I didn't understand why this man was teaching me these strange secret signs. Then one day it became very clear when one of the priests made the sign for fellatio when we were both alone, which was followed by him pushing his erect penis into my mouth. Now, what made this so incredibly insidious was that it was multiple monks, multiple priests, multiple brothers, who were all in on it. And they had created these signs, and these were not the standard sort of Italian sign language signs for these words.
These were.
So when the boys...
These are priest signs.
When the boys would get out and try to explain what was going on, or when their family came around, everybody was just confused because they didn't know what these signs were.
Right.
Right?
Oh, my God.
And they didn't have words to be able to write what they were.
Right.
It was just a sign. Right? So anyway, let's get down to what ends up happening, of course, which is one of the priests, who's sort of the most notorious of all them, Father Nicola Corradi, who is now 83 years old. He moved to South America in the mid-'80s after Giuseppe and some others, when their abuse claims started first coming out. And of course, rather than just handing him over to the authorities.
Yeah. Because why would you do that? It's not like he's committed one of the most heinous crimes imaginable.
In one of the most perverse, fucked up sort of manners. And
right. Taking advantage of the most vulnerable people he could possibly find.
Just horrifying, right? They also, of course, nobody even asked Rome, the authorities of the church authorities in Rome, to look into it.
Right.
Or to defrock him or anything, right? Yeah. He was instead transferred to the Provolone Institute in Mendoza, Argentina.
Right.
Where he got right back to business. And despite the fact that there were these reports coming from Italy, he was allowed to stay in his job at the school, and where he apparently found other like-minded abusers, and he set up the whole same system all over again. He was arrested in 2016 on allegations that he abused 22 deaf and mute children over the course of about 3 decades, and 3 other priests were arrested along with him. Now, one of the stories that it gets into that happened in Argentina, there was a young woman, Julieta Añasco. She was abused by one of the other fathers there, Father Ricardo Jimenez. And he attacked her the first time when she was just 7 years old. They were in a tent that was being used as a confessional. That's a Catholic youth festival. The abuse went on for 3 years before her parents found out, and then and they filed a complaint. Jimenez was then simply transferred by the Archdiocese of Buenos Aires under the direction of Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, Pope Francis.
Oh. Right? Oh, right, of course.
Who now they're having to look into how much did Bergoglio know?
Yeah.
Because he has had some strange reactions to these abuse claims that have been happening in South America.
And there are a whole bunch of allegations about him knowing about things and shuffling some people around. Yeah. A lot of them seem politically motivated, but motivation doesn't matter if it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah. So that was kind of bearing the lead a little bit, that it all ultimately comes back to Francis.
Good Lord.
But
I'll tell you what, these
stories are just absolutely wretched. You know, we talked about that one a number of weeks ago about once a boy had been groomed, successfully, fully groomed and abused, they were given like a special cross.
Right.
That was
in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
That was in Pennsylvania. And now there's this other thing where it's coming out, this specific story, and I'm sure there's just story after story after story, stories that we've missed, stories that were reported on that we missed, of course.
It's just so
part of the shocking, disgusting.
Part of the shocking thing about all of this is to find out that it wasn't just like, this priest here and that priest there, and then they shuffle them around and then they keep doing it.
Right.
The shocking thing is these cabals of abusers who find each other. How does that conversation start? How do they I
think basically it starts, hello, my name is Father Ramirez.
Right, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, and then they get together and they plot and they scheme and they plan. It is horrific.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
It's organized and systemic abuse.
I wasn't
like
I'm not prepared to be shocked because I thought I was not shockable at this point. And now I'm just it's shocking to me. If I had children and the best school in town was a Catholic school, no fucking way.
Well, if it was run by priests and nuns.
Yeah. I'm not going to put my kid in proximity to a priest.
Right.
Or if I did, I would be like, okay, we need to talk about who these people are and what they're allowed to do and how open I am, and you have to come to me. You know, I would have to have multiple in-depth discussions with my kids about how, you know, you don't want to say these adults are not trustworthy because you don't want to scare them.
Right.
But you want to say some adults are not trustworthy, and even the ones, you know, and there's nothing you can't tell me. I would just be paranoid as shit.
Right.
To put my kid anywhere near a Catholic priest.
Right.
Anyway, well, there you go. That's horrifying and awful. I'm going to give us some better news.
Well, please do, Dan.
To shake off some of that feeling.
Yeah.
Dateline Ireland, where in at the end of this month there will be an election, or rather a vote, and citizens of Ireland will have the opportunity to there's a referendum out to change their blasphemy laws. Because nice. Ireland has blasphemy laws.
Oh my God.
Which is stupid. And it looks like this might happen. Article 40.6.I of the Irish Constitution currently prohibits, quote, publication or utterance of blasphemy, of any blasphemous content.
Oh my God.
And it's super open to interpretation. Like, this is not something that is defined and outlined. It's in the eye of the beholder entirely. So, for instance, very sort of high profile case came up when you'll recall that Stephen Fry went on a show and was asked about his atheism, and was asked about, like, why don't you know, what would you say if you were to meet God? And he decimated the guy. Like, it was withering what Stephen Fry had to say. He said stuff about, like, you know, how dare you give children bone cancer, and how dare you, and he just went through this whole list of things, and it was beautiful.
Right.
But then people wanted to bring him up on blasphemy charges because he did it while in Ireland. And so, like, and, you know, obviously that was a high profile case, and it was quickly shuffled under the rug and dismissed because they didn't want the bad juju, the bad publicity. But multiple cases like that are coming up. So there, you know, atheist groups in Ireland are working hard to make sure that this gets passed, or rather that these blasphemy laws are rescinded. And I'm very proud of them for doing that.
Wow. Well, good for that. Ireland is just getting their house in order.
They are. They got the abortion thing sorted all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The Pope comes and they're all like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Boo.
Yeah. Boo. They're fed up.
Yeah.
They want a secular government.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them.
So good things happening.
It's about time.
And, you know, there were a letter went out with a whole bunch of signatories from who have been accused under blasphemy laws around the world and have been punished and whatever. Because, you know, blasphemy laws are damaging. They are the death of free speech. Mm-hmm. If you believe at all in free speech, if you believe at all in freedom at all, freedom in general, blasphemy laws, you know, if you believe in a secular government, in a government that isn't run by a religion, which you should. I'm lecturing a whole bunch of atheists about this. You know, it's...
well done, Dan. You found your target audience.
Right, yeah.
people who really need to hear this.
Yeah, boy, I'm getting the word out. It's good.
Echo Chamber with Frank and Dan.
That's right. And now here's Preaching to the Choir. But yeah, I mean,
that's great. That's wonderful news, and it's inspirational to me. Yeah, actually, Dan.
I mean, let's hold off on being too inspired until after the vote, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Okay.
So, there you go. Yeah.
Well, some bad news from here back home.
Oh,
Dan, it's going to affect
you are the bad news man.
A lot of people from around the world.
Okay.
In particular, it's going to affect a number of diplomats, foreign diplomats at the United Nations who work in New York City. The Trump administration has began denying visas to unmarried same-sex partners of foreign diplomats and officials and employees of the United Nations, making marriage a requirement to be eligible for a visa. It obviously, they're giving the same-sex partners of foreign diplomats and the workers at the UN until the end of the year to get married or leave the country. Now, the problem for a lot of these people is that it's actually illegal back home,
right?
And the country that they're from, they could face any number of consequences, ranging from persecution to being jailed,
right?
Possibly executed. Who knows?
Well,
it's all possible in this world.
I mean, there are a handful of countries, most of Europe, where where gay marriage is totally legal.
Yeah.
But the UN is more than Europe and the United States, much to the shock of many people who,
yep,
probably including Donald Trump.
The Trump administration is claiming that the new policy is being enacted in order to be more consistent with the Supreme Court ruling that legalized same-sex marriage.
Oh, wow!
Right? Nobody should be given disparate treatment under the law.
Right.
So let's keep these same-sex partners out of the country.
Fuck you guys. It's so stupid because the truth is that this is an obvious attempt to discriminate against gay people.
Yeah.
But also, plenty of straight people are choosing not to marry.
Right.
For whatever reason they want to.
And I agree with you that those folks should probably also be given the right to get a visa but technically right now, heterosexual partners of foreign diplomats are not eligible.
Okay.
For U.S. visas unless they're married.
Well, interesting.
So their little claim here
has some.
You can see right through it that they're trying to inconvenience UN employees. They're harassing the gays at the UN.
Yeah.
But
yet they have the claim. The claim is valid that they're bringing it in line. On one level, it's valid that they're just bringing it in line with what they're doing for straight couples.
Right. Not recognizing the fact that we're talking about an international body.
Right.
That, like you said earlier, there are people coming from all sorts of situations.
Right. And
it is literally from every part of the planet.
You can't say I'm just equalizing the thing when it's already unequal.
Right.
When this equalizing measure keeps it unequal.
Right.
Yeah.
So now these diplomats and workers and whatnot are having to make, or will have to make, the decision of, do I take this foreign posting, right? That is a great, probably something they've been working for in their career, right?
Yeah.
Working toward,
right?
Or do I just stay at home and continue, living in whatever situation they have worked out with their partner.
Right.
So
that's,
it's really just disgusting. It's harassment. It's
I think the UN should probably
it's cruel.
Withdraw their headquarters from the US.
At this point.
Why the fuck would they be headquartered here?
At this point, it's really sick that that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
But Trump would love that.
Yeah, of course he would.
It would be like, look at all that prime real estate.
Right. Right there in downtown Manhattan.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good.
I'll buy it up for maybe that's his plan.
Yeah.
He's just gonna he's gonna make the UN so uncomfortable that they leave, and then he'll just snatch up that great prime real estate.
You know the thought has crossed the man's mind.
Oh yeah. That probably is what he hates about the UN most.
Yeah.
Just the real estate.
Yeah.
All right. Here's an interesting thing. Okay. Last week we had the trauma that was the Brett Kavanaugh, Dr. Ford hearings.
Yeah.
That was delightful in the sense that we got to learn that our Senate doesn't give a fuck about women, which, surprise, we already knew. Orrin Hatch has a long and storied history of not caring about women.
Oh, but he likes to look at them. And that came out too.
She was an attractive witness. Yeah. Let's be fair. So anyway, Kavanaugh, acquitted himself not well.
No.
He did not handle himself in a judgely manner, by my estimation. But not just mine. There's another group. There was a group that endorsed. I didn't even know people endorsed nominees for Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
It's not something anyone can vote on except these senators.
Yeah, they want to get in the mix.
They want to get in the mix.
They want to make sure that the nominee knows who's on their side.
Right, exactly. Right, in case they come up in court before them. But one of the groups that was supporting and endorsing Kavanaugh in this thing was a magazine called America.
Ooh, America.
Yes, it's
the magazine.
America, the magazine, which strangely, that's the title. So you'd think, there's any number of things that I would believe that was before I believed that it was a Jesuit Catholic magazine.
Oh,
but it is.
Okay.
And of course they endorsed him. He's the Catholicist, or at least according to him. Well, after his performance last week, they have withdrawn their endorsement.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. They have rescinded their glowing endorsement of this man.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
They said, here's what they had to say. If Senate Republicans proceed with his nomination, they will be prioritizing policy aims over a woman's report of an assault.
Wow.
Were he to be confirmed without this allegation being firmly disproved, it would hang over his future decisions on the Supreme Court for decades and further divide our country.
Yep.
It's fascinating. Now, I personally think that just his behavior is more than enough to disqualify him
at this point
from being
like.
He clearly showed that he does not have the temperament required to be a non-biased determiner of constitutional law. However, for him to lose the support of a Catholic magazine, that's a thing to me. To me, that's saying something.
Yeah, it will continue to be very interesting to see how this whole thing plays out.
Yeah,
and who ends up on, doing similar things, right?
Yeah.
Backing off of their support and doing, the right thing, which is ultimately, this whole thing, as far as like an investigation is concerned, is pretty fucking hard to figure out. We're talking about a small high school party, 30 years ago?
35 years ago. I mean, there are other allegations too.
There are other allegations, but the one that everybody's focused on is obviously the ones that came forward from Dr. Ford.
Right.
And so obviously this is a really tough thing to look into, but if you just look at his testimony, and the numbers of times that he lied about
blatantly
about like what certain terms meant.
Boofing.
Yeah.
We can look it up, moron.
I know. Like it's unbelievable.
Devil's triangle.
I learned actually a lot of new terms
sure
this week.
Sure.
Terms I didn't.
He claimed. Now here's where I can get behind him. He claimed that the Devil's Triangle is a drinking game. I'm guessing he played it while drinking. I'm guessing it wasn't for him a drinking game.
Yeah. No, when you actually watch him answer that question in particular, and when he says drinking game, you can see him lie. The remarkable thing is you see the shift in his face when he comes up with the answer and then says it. Yeah. And he thinks he's so fucking clever. And it's like, where have you been living that you don't understand Google?
Yeah. We
will figure this out.
We can fact check that one.
Like not you didn't live in some alternate universe where every single one of these terms meant something slightly more innocent.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Slightly less incriminating.
Also, the terms did not exist in a vacuum.
Right.
All the other people who went to your school knew what those terms were.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But they're all just lying to try and sink him. They're all
clearly.
It's
this is a whole conspiracy.
All right.
God.
Well, believe women, and we will. And if you have any comments or questions about any of these stories, please feel free to write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And while on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in.
Yes, indeed. And let's move to the next segment of the show.
Well done, Dan. Hey, Dan.
What?
Do you love the intersection of stupid Christianity and conspiracy theories?
And literally just fuck shit insane conspiracy theory? I do love that.
Because I got a video that I'm going to play and we're going to listen to the audio of it. And it's truly
There's something
delightful.
that I love about this. I'll save it for the end, but it's amazing.
This is coming from a guy named Mark Taylor.
We've talked about him many times.
Yeah, he's the retired fireman / prophet of the Lord.
Yeah, he was a fireman who now makes his living talking to his imaginary friend and telling us all what he heard.
I hope he was a better fireman than...
I hope he wasn't. I hope he was a terrible fireman, and this brought him out of it and got him replaced by someone who's better.
There we go. All right, cool. Fair enough. But let's see what he has to say.
You know, I got hammered when I said that these hurricanes, they weaponized weather. And I got hammered when I said that the Hurricane Harvey that hit Texas and Irma that hit Florida was purposeful because they both swung for Trump. It was retaliation. And people say, well, that's a conspiracy theory. You know, you can't prove that, this, that, and the other. Well, 3 weeks after I said that, Greg Hunter has Dane Wigington on from geoengineeringwatch.org and confirmed every single bit of what the Lord was telling me about this because they weaponized weather. And I asked the Lord, I said, why did they do this? Why did they actually do this? What was their purpose of this? And he said it was retaliation for pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. And he said, because the second we did that, it delegitimized climate control because climate control is their global slush fund, global tax that funds the New World Order, period. So now, the other day, a couple weeks ago, I saw where North Carolina basically had done the voter fraud stuff for the machines and this, that, and the other. They had caught it or something like that, and they were going after it. And I said, oh, boy. Sure enough, there it was. Here comes the hurricane. Bigger than life, man. There it was. And I just found out literally through another source of mine, contact this morning. Sure enough, they said that it was, in fact, made by man and generated, the HARP system basically, and it was meant to try and flood North Carolina and flood out the evidence of what was going on with the voter fraud. People don't think this stuff is real. They don't think that this stuff can actually happen, that we have the technology. This stuff's been going on for decades. It's all over the world.
Yeah, it's delightful. It's crazy. It's my kind of crazy. It's the kind of Here's the other thing. He is going against decades of tradition in Christianity, which is the Lord controls the weather.
Yeah.
But what he has realized is that the weather keeps attacking the Bible Belt.
Right.
And we're in trouble if we go with this narrative of the Lord, brings his retribution through the weather. Because you get the guys like Pat Robertson,
right,
who for years and years and years would say that, we're being attacked because we support the gays and we abort the babies and feminism and the blah, 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 and all of this stuff.
Right.
And so, he's got a whole nother take on it.
Yeah.
By the way, if you ever hear phrases like New World Order, that means Jews. It's an anti-Semitic sort of thing. It's a whole thing about it dates back to the protocols of the elders of Zion. It's just code for the Jews. You'll hear George Soros' name mentioned in the same breath all the time.
Right. Okay.
If you want to go down a delightful, crazy rabbit hole, the guy that he mentions, Dane Wigington, who confirmed everything that he said, so it's proof.
Right.
You're in trouble when you're like, haha, see, it's proof, and your source is other insane conspiracy theorist.
Right.
But yeah, that's who his source is. You can look that guy up. He's got his own YouTube channel.
So their idea is that there are these massive hurricane generating machines
or something. They know how to do it. They out there, and that they just here's the thing. If I had enemies that I wanted to get rid of, I would target those few people. Maybe an institution.
These guys are truly evil.
A place where they meet.
They don't care.
You don't target a geographic region where they kind of are.
Right.
And just get everybody there.
Those voting machines will get, and the evidence will just get all wiped out. Maybe. Hopefully they store it all on the first floor. None of this stuff is ever stored on the second floor or third floor of some government building somewhere.
Because if there's anything,
it's not on a hill.
Evidence for voter fraud, if there's a good way to wipe that out, it's wind.
Wind and rain.
The best way to wipe out evidence for voter fraud, is a little bit of flooding and some wind and rain.
Yeah,
that'll do it every time.
Oh yeah.
Now where's your evidence?
Yeah.
It's on the cloud.
Oh shit.
Well, you know what? You know who controls the clouds?
Oh,
the New World Order.
The cloud. Yeah. That's insidious. That's insidious, Dan. I didn't know they were talking about real clouds.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the information goes, into the hurricanes. It all goes there, and then they hurricane them at you. Stop. You know what? We're about to be victims because a hurricane, storm water is coming our way.
I know. It's really weird. This never happens.
No. It's because they're controlling the weather.
I know.
The New World Order
they're coming after us, Dan.
We're
on to them.
We're going to have to employ umbrellas because of the New World Order. No!
Because by the time it makes it, that storm makes it all the way up to Utah, it's some rain.
Oh, you know what they're doing?
It's mostly just
a little bit of rain. Here's what it is.
What?
They're trying to get some snowpack up on the mountains because the Jews like to ski. That's what's happening. George Soros enjoys skiing. And therefore, they're trying to rain it.
He loves Park City.
Yeah.
Just loves it.
Why not?
Okay. Oh my
Lord. God. We had some folks write in and call in to us.
Indeed.
I'll start us off. This is from Dave. Dear Frank and Dan, last week you guys mentioned the recent uptick in resignations from the LDS Church in regards to Sam Young being excommunicated. Great news. However, I noticed you offhandedly mentioned that quitmormon.com usually only processes like 100 a month.
Isn't it quitmormon.org?
Well, probably.
Okay. Anyway.
Dave may have gotten it wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm just reading here.
Okay.
Actually, given the numbers available on their website, the correct figure is on average nearly 1,000 resignations submitted per month, with over 13,000 submitted over the past 12 months.
Wow.
Considering these numbers don't include September's, I think the LDS Church has a rude awakening. I'm inclined to agree with you, Dave. Thank you.
1,000 a month is 3 wards worth of resignations.
Yeah.
You put it into those kind of terms.
And
we know that like they're doing a lot of ward consolidation throughout Utah right now.
Yeah.
Which means their numbers are dwindling. That's the only way they would be doing that.
They're hemorrhaging.
And in the last General Conference, they also talked about how they're going to be doing smaller wards. They're sort of restructuring all the callings and blah, blah, blah.
So nobody notices all of the empty pews.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just looks normal.
So it looks normal.
Yeah.
They've got a problem on their hands, and it is very interesting to watch it play out. And then you talked about it last week, didn't you? The whole Jana Reese thing.
We'll be talking about it later.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Did that come out this week? And did we not get to it yet on the show?
We've talked about a few things. Anyway.
Okay.
Let's listen to a voicemail.
All right. We've got a story from a listener who, boy, he was so ready to handle a certain situation one way, and then it turns out a different way. So let's just listen in.
Hey guys, this is Adam from Kansas City. I want to tell you a quick story. I just started going to an outpatient rehab for alcohol abuse, and part of that process is you have to see a physician. So in walks this elderly gentleman, very nice, very frank. We're having a very good conversation. And then he said, "Do you believe in?" and pointed up. And I just instinctually said yes, because I'm not a full-on out atheist in normal life. And it turns out that was a mistake. Conversation took a quick turn for the next 30 minutes, talking about how Jesus can fill all my holes in these proverbs and these scriptures. And then he invited me to church with him, which he explained, well, it's an LDS church. I'm a Mormon. And then it hit me. I've been listening to you guys for years, waiting for my moment for those Mormons to come to my door so I can flip the script. And in fact, I came to the Mormons' door and got invited to church. Oh, well. Thanks, guys.
They're sneaky.
Oh.
They'll sneak around. They'll flank you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, congratulations on your recovery. I hope it goes really, really well for you.
Absolutely.
That can be a very difficult thing to deal with, and we support you 1,000%. So good on you. Sorry you got saddled with a Mormon.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. Also, let this be a lesson to those of you out there who are like, why should I be out as an atheist? Because you might get sucked into some bullshit is why.
Yeah.
Unwittingly. If you can't just say, nah, I don't believe in them, you might have a conversation that you don't want to have.
Indeed.
Oh, God. Speaking of Mormon missionaries, I will read TJ's email, which says, "Hey guys, I thought you might like to know that I've been running into a gaggle of sister missionaries here in my town. There seems to be about a dozen of them peddling around. First, I live in a very upper middle class income suburb of Columbus. This town commonly makes the top 10 lists for safest places in America. This is about as far from a challenging mission as it gets. Second, they absolutely have no idea how to handle me. They are, of course, very polite, but I don't think they've ever encountered an open atheist who is not at all afraid to engage if they do. Their reactions are frankly hilarious. They are also surprised that I know they are LDS or whatever they call themselves this week. I commonly see them when I'm out walking my dog. I've taken to simply telling them that I'm a non-believer, but my dog is." That's cute. Yeah. Again, the sister missionaries are interesting because it's a different breed.
Yeah,
I know I know what.
Is it so different now? It used to be that it was like these the young women who felt like they were either really stridently like, I'm going to serve a mission,
so Mormon,
or they were the old maids at 21.
Yeah, they were the Provo girls who couldn't get married before their 21st birthday,
yeah.
and then they just had to give up on life and go and just serve a mission.
And now things are kind of out of whack. Like they lowered the age that young women can go to 19.
Right.
Still not on par with the young men at 18.
Right.
That one extra year.
Well, as we know, girls mature slower than boys, so it's very important to give them that extra year.
Still give them a chance to get married before going.
Yeah, that's what the thinking has been.
But nonetheless, it hasn't fully equaled out the numbers. But there are a lot more young women now than there used to be. So it's interesting to hear that they have maybe a whole district of them that's all just
but the rules are different for the girls. The girls can't go. I'm pretty sure they can't go, even if they're tracting door to door.
Yeah,
they can't go into a house that just has a man alone.
Oh,
they can only if there's a woman, if there's a wife, they're good. They can go in, they can teach.
Yeah.
But I think if there's just a single guy, they'll be like, well, we'll call some boys to come and talk to you or something like that.
Or come on out onto the porch.
Or whatever. Yeah, I mean...
We'll teach out here.
Yeah.
The light of day.
It's just very interesting. The sister missionaries that we encounter, of course, here in Salt Lake, all are assigned to the Temple Square grounds.
Right.
And I don't know. Then they can just sort of proselytize at you. If you choose to take a tour with them... you will learn exactly zero about Temple Square, and they will just bear their testimony at you for the entire time.
Really?
Yeah. My new stepfather was wildly disappointed by the quote unquote tour that he got from these girls who knew nothing about the history of the place that they were at. These people are here to learn about monuments and to learn about the temple itself and the history thereof. And instead, what they got was preaching the entire time. So off-putting.
Yeah.
Don't engage. If you see them, don't engage.
Right.
So there you go. Hey, we have one more voicemail, do we not?
Yes, we do. This is really just a wonderful, heartfelt message. I'm just going to go ahead and play it because he explains himself pretty well.
Hey, Frank and Dan. Thanks for taking my call. Been listening to your show for a few years now. Something that came to light kind of with this Kavanaugh thing with myself is the sexual consent and heavy drinking culture of college life. And I didn't have a church boy, innocent type college life. It was a very alcohol fueled environment. And there's definitely some behavior that I question that I did while I was in college. And I know that religious people are able to turn to religion and leaders within the church to deal with the guilt that they feel. But there's definitely guilt that I have that I deal with that I look back on and I try to cope with it. And I feel immense pain for some of the things that transpired throughout my years. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on it and see what you guys think. And appreciate you guys, and I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say. Thank you.
Well, okay. So thanks for calling in.
Yeah.
And this is tricky territory right now because we are in a moment, especially in these United States, where we just witnessed a man being entirely non-introspective about a bunch of allegations made against him. I personally think those allegations are likely to be true.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but just looking at who looks credible and what's probably credible. Anyway, it's a dangerous time to have this kind of introspection because there's a lot of lust for blood on these issues. And I did get that.
Right.
But I do want to applaud this sort of introspection. I mean, we need men who are willing to sort of look back at past behavior and ask themselves some deep, hard questions about it.
Absolutely.
I've been doing it, and I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't, I didn't have the alcohol-fueled college experience or whatever.
Right.
Infractions that I may have done are mild. Mm-hmm. But I still have been thinking about it. Definitely, I think I've made some women feel very uncomfortable in the past, and I've actually sort of started a campaign of going to women that I think I might have done that and just talking to them about it, which is scary and hard to do.
Yeah,
and so far none of them have said that I. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, right.
But the point, I think, is that when you actually do look back at your life and find some things that you think might be bad, what steps do you take?
Yeah, and the caller references the fact that Christians have this process,
right,
that they go through, and then
they feel absolved.
Yeah, which I don't know that that's the correct.
No, that's horrific.
Or healthy, handling of the whole thing.
A lot of these men go to their priest or their bishop or whatever, get absolution from them, and then don't even feel like they need to do anything for their victim, or don't even feel like they need to, do anything else in the world. Their conscience becomes clear.
Yeah, and I, having never been in that situation, I do wonder how many of them still though have lingering trouble, right? They've been told they're okay, right?
Right.
But they haven't actually dealt with it. They haven't actually truly done the work on themselves,
right,
to fix what was broken or wrong, or the activity that was unacceptable.
To re-engage their own humanity,
right,
in a way that actually, because if you know that thing is lurking in your past. It's something that has to be dealt with.
Yeah.
On your own front, on your own level, but also, I personally feel like and this is a tricky one, because I feel like somehow you've got to deal with your victim. But what you don't want to do is re-traumatize them.
Right.
You don't want to force them, depending on what you did, and we don't know what our caller did or didn't do.
Right.
But I would say that a letter that doesn't ask anything of the victim,
right,
but just says, "Look, I think that I wronged you, and I would like to, make an amends if I can."
Right.
And you don't have to see me, you don't have to talk to me, you don't have to respond to this,
right,
but know that I'm in a place where I'm here for you if it would be helpful to you.
Right.
And if not, then just know that I'm deeply, deeply sorry or whatever.
Right.
And then follow through on that. If they want you never to speak to them again, don't.
Right.
And if they want to engage with you, then you got to be willing to take your lumps.
Yeah.
But I mean, that much integrity is worth a lot to me. You know what I mean? It means so much. If Brett Kavanaugh had shown any degree of integrity or introspection or self awareness, that would have made a difference.
Yeah. No, I was really moved by this voicemail.
Yeah.
When I first listened to it, I could feel, the emotion and how badly he feels about whatever was in his past.
Yeah.
But and then it kind of my mind quickly came around to Kavanaugh, and it was like, like listening to Dr. Ford, right? And her testimony was so compelling and so, like, I was on the verge of tears multiple times listening to her.
Yeah.
And just every time she comes up and they keep playing certain clips, and it's just like that poor woman. And your heart really goes out to her. And if there could have been the flip side of that, right? Where you had Kavanaugh come in with a really heartfelt, and he really didn't even have to like cop to too much, right?
If he had just said, I don't remember any of this, but I know that I got blackout drunk a number of times, and it seems possible that I could have done this, and I'm horrified by that.
That thought troubles me deeply. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to be on the bench. He would have lost that opportunity. But you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
A man.
Sometimes there are consequences for your actions.
Yeah. I mean, not in this country, but like a good person would choose consequences over losing their humanity.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think that we will probably get some emails and voicemails from some of our women listeners who have a deeper, richer perspective on this, and I welcome that.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can keep it from being about we can keep it about how we can move forward in a positive, in a useful, helpful way.
Yeah.
When we find ourselves, when we look at our past and see something ugly, we need to figure out how to right the wrongs as best we can.
And there are a lot of ways to behave and to misbehave. This is not just strictly through the lens of Me Too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, what we don't need is what we need in this country, I think, is ways of moving forward that aren't about crucifying people.
Right. We need some serious national therapy.
Yeah.
Whoever that is who can
maybe there's
conduct therapy on a national level.
Yeah. Who's
we need you to step forward.
Please. It can't be Dr. Phil. We'll need to get rid of the current famous therapists.
Yeah. He was an abuser, right?
Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
Look at his mustache. Of course he was an abuser.
I don't want to malign the man if it's not true, but I feel like there was something that came out during the whole thing.
I don't know if that's true or not. I just know about the mustache.
Or further in his... I can't remember. Yeah, I'm saying nothing about Dr. Phil. I will not malign the man.
Yeah, that's
other than to say
best.
That I don't like his show.
Right. And he's a terrible man and probably a terrible therapist. And shame on Oprah for unleashing him on all of us. Anyway,
great.
Whew. Okay. We might be in some trouble. Why don't you thank some people?
Yeah, we have new patrons on Patreon. These are people who went to thankgodimatheist.com and clicked on the support tab.
Yeah.
And both of these kind souls, John and Shannon, thank you very much, guys. They both signed up at the venerable level.
Oh, lovely.
So how we venerate ye.
Yeah.
Ye. John and Shannon.
Great use of the word ye.
Huh?
That's a fantastic ye right there.
Well, it's proper.
Yeah. Giving you props.
I'm not too bad at this English thing. But nonetheless, thank you guys. And of course, we have, as always, our Lord and Savior Emeritus, Angela, who we thank every week for her continued support.
Yeah.
And then the at the very top of the heap,
the Crown Princess,
our current reigning Lord and Savior, Jenny.
Yes. Peace be upon her. She the assalamu alaikum to Jenny. And may she wave.
Amen. Okay, Dan.
Yes, sir.
So we talked about it right at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
General Conference, Mormon General Conference.
Coming up.
Or should I say the General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
No, you shouldn't say that.
The restored, true, one and only gospel What else do they want us to say every time we say their name?
I don't know.
Peace be upon His Holiness the Prophet.
The pile of idiots downtown Salt Lake. They're all going to meet together.
Yeah.
With the collection of bad shoes that is the Mormon General Conference.
All right. Anyway, so I found this on Reddit, and it's pretty fucking fantastic. This lead up to this General Conference has been one that has been rife with rumors.
It has been
speculation about what could be coming. There's all this like titillating little, Elder Oaks was at a stake conference, and he told the stake president that we really need to get prepared because this General Conference is going to be a doozy.
Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of that going on, and also just this new prophet that they got,
who seems to be
Rusty Nelson,
hell-bent on getting his changes in.
Look, this guy has had some ideas dating back to the 30s, and
about how to fix the church,
and he is launching
right, and he
knows he's got a year and a half before he dies.
Well, before he turns into really truly what is pathetic and sad, the prophet that they have to like prop up and kind of carry to his chair.
I'm pretty sure that
sits there and just.
I'm pretty sure that they've got
completely out of it
a suit that they put on under his under the prophet's clothes that makes him animatronic. Like if you put a mic up to his joints, you would hear like actuators going.
Well, they've got enough money; they could afford it if they wanted to do it. If they wanted to build Iron Man, they could. So anywho. But this is the General Conference rumor mega list. This is actually on the Latter-day Saints subreddit. This subreddit, by the way, is ruled by some of the most tyrannical moderators that have ever surfaced on Reddit.
Oh, really?
These folks, if I were to post a comment, and they don't recognize my username, they're going to check out my history, see that I am the moderator over at TGIA Atheist, and ban me. They'll delete my comment and ban me, even if it was like
I support blah, blah, blah.
this. This is great. You're banned. Like they're awful, right? But anyway, so this is the mega thread, mega list.
Oh, okay.
And these are sort of the top rumors that are going around about what Rusty Nelson, what revelations he is receiving. What does the Lord care about in these latter days?
Can I just say that I love that we call him Rusty Nelson because it sounds like a sex act, and I'm not sure what it is, but it sounds bad, and I love
the old Rusty Nelson.
I gave him a Rusty Nelson.
Well, let's see. Nelson, isn't that like a wrestling hold?
Yes.
You have your full Nelson.
You have your half Nelson.
So this is
and then you got your Rusty Nelson.
You got your Rusty Nelson.
It's somewhere between that and a rusty trombone. Anyway, let's move on.
I don't know. I was getting close to what it actually was. But anyway, so the number one speculated thing, and this has Mormons so fucking excited. They cannot believe that this could possibly happen because apparently it's also been piloted. The part of the rumor is they have been testing out the 2-hour block session of church on Sunday. Now, you have to understand, they call it the block. It used to be the 3-hour, or it is currently the 3-hour block.
Oh, my God.
And it is 3 hours of
torture.
Church, right?
Oh, you said church.
Yeah.
It is torture.
Because back in the day, do you remember when you had all the auxiliary meetings were in the middle of the week? And so
I don't remember that. I don't think that was happening in my ward at the time. By the time I remember anything, we just had 3 hours of goddamn church.
I remember
it is awful.
I remember there just being Sunday school and sacrament meeting on Sunday.
So 2 hours.
So you were there for 2 hours, and then the auxiliaries, so like young men's, young women's, although they called it like MIA or something like that back then, right? And a relief society,
right?
And I think the priesthood even got together during the week,
like Wednesday.
Yeah, You had a week where there was like a night of the week where there was like an hour and the family would show up to church and everybody would go their separate ways to their meeting, right, in the middle of the week. And then somebody got some revelation that it all needed to be on Sunday.
Right, because people probably weren't showing up to the midweek.
They probably weren't, right? So anyway, apparently this one could possibly finally happen, whatever. And then 2, 3, and 4 all have to do with the missionary program. And this is fascinating to me because what it says to me is that the membership right now, the active Mormons out there, that they understand that there is something seriously wrong with the missionary program, that there's something not right and it needs to be reformed.
Right.
And
well, there was an article recently on one of the TV news channel stations.
Oh yeah.
KUTV Channel 2 News. That apparently, and there have been reports that many of the Mormon missionaries, these teenagers that they send out, they're coming home early, and more of them are doing it.
Yeah,
and
it's like a third of them are coming home early.
And the Mormon, the internal sort of rumor has been that it's about them having sinned while they were out there.
Yeah,
but the truth is that they're coming back because with mental health questions, with mental health issues.
Okay.
So John DeLynn he's the host of a podcast called Mormon Stories. He was excommunicated from the Mormon Church a couple years ago. He has received reports of people of missionaries in a pilot program. These are people who have been called on missions but have previous experience having been treated for depression or anxiety.
Okay.
And they're apparently going to be they're being called on, rather than 2-year missions, 3-month sort of test missions where they go out, and then at the end of the 3 months they sort of are evaluated to see if they should go on a full mission.
Oh.
Which
interesting
is an attempt to try and sort of not put people into traumatic positions, but also it kind of stigmatizes their mental health issues.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
so you get to the things that you got.
There are these 3 little
like rumors.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's see. So the first one of these is the missionary program gets a sort of refocus, and that service missionaries may become an equal or maybe even preferred option, which I've said for years.
Yeah, you and I have been saying this.
This makes so much sense. Get these kids out into the world just doing some good. Dig some trenches in Africa. Dig some wells.
Yeah, sure.
Or, you need trenches for all that water.
Yeah. Dig. Yeah, dig. Just make them dig.
Go somewhere that needs some digging and go do it. Build some houses, do some Habitat for Humanity crap.
Rather than this door-to-door, join my church, hard sell bullshit.
Pull them in with the soft sell. You guys are good people. You're out doing good work. I'm sorry, well, who are you? And teach them how to answer those questions about what they believe and whatnot. And they would have so much more success.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have that success, so I hope they don't ever do it.
Well, don't worry. They'll find a way to fuck this up. I'm not worried about that.
Another one of the missionary ones is choice in mission duration.
Okay.
For men and women.
Interesting. So rather than it's just going to be your 18 months or your whatever.
Right. You get how long are you looking to go? I don't know, maybe about a year.
Great, cool. Considering that these things are self-funded, the church doesn't pay for them to go out.
No, I know.
They pay for them to go out.
And it's a huge fucking burden, and I blew through my life savings to go on a mission.
Yeah. So considering that, I can see how someone would want to choose a shorter duration mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another rumor surrounding missionaries is maybe a new approach to missionary identities, casual clothes, first names.
Ooh,
this apparently is already being done in some pilot programs.
Wow.
So they've been testing this out, see how it works. They could have fun. They could have a special missionary t-shirt that has the little church, little They could
rather
do like a badge.
Yeah, but instead of the badge, maybe it's just screen printed on there.
Yeah,
sure.
Be totally cute. Like,
oh my God,
be so like self-aware and cute about the whole thing.
Definitely not going to happen. They will switch from ugly short-sleeved shirt and tie, to ugly something else.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a rumor about the Salt Lake Temple.
Oh.
That it's going to be closed for necessary earthquake retrofitting.
Okay.
Now, this is the building, Dan, though, that Mormons like to tell little stories about, like, oh yeah, did you know when they went to install the elevators that there were already shafts?
Because they had the foresight, because God gave them.
They had no idea that they were even leaving these shafts for, what they were for. But they left them anyway. It was in the original plans.
Yeah, this is the kind of shit that just like, did you know that the place that they just happened to build it is the only bedrock in the entire Salt Lake Valley, so that when the big earthquake happens, everything else is going to sink into the ground, but not the temple.
Not the temple. So some retrofitting. That would be good. It probably needs it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
You know?
And Lord knows there are plenty of other temples in this immediate region to service all of the needs of the people.
Here's somebody hoping that there will be some changes to the temple language to be more egalitarian. Fat chance.
Yeah, right. Let me tell you something. If you haven't done it, you can go and check out what the Mormon temple ceremony looks like on YouTube. We've had him on the show. New name Noah.
Yeah,
has infiltrated and gone into just dozens of these ceremonies and videotaped it. It's boring as all get out, but there are some parts that like you can get to the batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But there's nothing egalitarian about it. It is women on one side, men on the other side.
Yeah.
Ladies, put your veils on. Men, put your chef hat on.
Right.
It's goofy.
This next one is probably long overdue. Because currently the way that they do sort of the weddings in the temple, it's actually quite cruel to like the non-Mormon members of families, because they're not like, or non-Mormon parents.
Yeah.
Somebody who might have converted to Mormonism, who's now getting married in the temple,
and they can't go.
They can't go to their child's wedding.
Right.
Right. There's apparently some rumor that there might be a separation of the weddings and the sealings, and a removal of the 1-year waiting period for non-temple weddings in USA.
Yeah, because the way it works is if you want to have a wedding that your non-Mormon mom can go to,
right,
you can do it.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that's actually done in the temple that can't be done outside of the temple is what they call a sealing, where they seal you to each other for eternity.
Good God.
So stupid. But yeah, they can perform that separately. There's no reason why they couldn't. But if you do that option, they make you wait. Like you've done something bad.
Right.
Like whenever they say you have to wait a year to do your temple, blah, 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 what they're saying is you've been evil.
Right.
And you need to repent for a year. So that would be nice if they would do that, I guess.
Right. All right. This is another speculation. Major changes to youth interview protocols. I'm going to say no. That's not going to happen. It's too soon. They can't show that that Sam Young had any influence on them.
Yes, we excommunicated him, but also he was right.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that. Although that's the ultimate dick move.
That would be amazing.
That's like a crazy dick move.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they could do that. And then there's a bunch of others. This poor person's actually hopeful that they reduce tithing to 5%. Let me tell you right now. Let me disabuse you of any idea that could possibly happen.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's definitely not happening.
They're not going to cut their profits in half.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Do you know what the word tithe means?
Well, it also means tenth.
Yeah.
But they, they recognize what a burden it is, and then somebody else.
And Mormons pay a tithe, like a strict tithe. It's not just, whatever you feel like putting into the plate as it gets passed around.
Yeah.
You are called to account.
Yeah. Yes. And then of course there's stuff about, loosening of the word of wisdom to maybe allow the coffee and tea. These people are just making shit up.
Yeah.
I think a couple of these are probably based on, if it's being pilot program tested, whatever, somewhere, good chance. What I love about though these kind of things is how important these procedural and managerial type decisions are to the Mormon population,
to the people on the ground,
and how inspired and how much they feel the spirit about these changes.
Oh my God.
That this is revelation, and it's like this is just administration.
Right.
That's all this is. This is bureaucracy deciding to change something.
What you never hear from a Mormon, and I love this, is, wait a minute, they had that wrong this whole time?
I know, yeah.
That's never the thing. It's always, we are so blessed that they have it right now.
Yeah, that it's finally been changed.
What
that awful thing.
Thank you, God, for changing it.
For relieving us, of this 3-hour burden of church.
Oh my God.
And reducing it to only 2. If church were so fucking awesome, right? If this was truly the Lord's church, don't you think you'd want to be there for 4 hours?
Oh man.
Don't you think you'd want to spend your entire fucking Sunday just basking in the glory of church, right? But it's not. It's horrible.
It's awful.
They know it's horrible. They all hate it.
Yeah.
Who likes going to Mormon church?
I'll tell you what, though.
Not even Mormons.
Mormons are a patient people.
Ugh.
They're able to sit through some shit. If you want to hire someone who can sit through meeting after meeting after meeting and just glaze over and be fine, hire you a Mormon. They're used to it.
Well, my mom, when my mom dropped me off at kindergarten, the very first time, right?
Yeah.
I just went running in and was like, cool, see ya. Right. And she always credited that to the fact that I had to sit through all this horror. She didn't call it that, of course, but I had to sit through Mormon church.
You'd been trained.
And I had to go off and be by my little self.
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah, you're right. They teach you young to just deal with
for
this.
us kids who had ADHD. It was just, if you had given me the option of 3 hours of church or 10 minutes of whooping, I would have had to think about it. Really? It was awful. All right. Well, there's your rumors and so
tune in, guys, to General Conference. See which one of these is right.
Oh yeah.
Let's have a little drinking game.
Definitely watch Mormon General Conference. That'll be just the ticket for all of you listeners. Do not watch General Conference. Something on you will spring a leak. You'll be so bored. All right. Well, if you have anything you want to write into us about for this week, you may do so. Please do. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com is the email address.
Or you can give us a piece of your mind by calling us 424-666-8442 is the telephone number.
Yes, indeed. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIA Atheist, and click that like button.
And also on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Also, go over to the Reddit. There's reddit.com/r/TGIA Atheist. And kind of a little growing thing over there too.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of Facebook, thanks so much to Mackenzie for her amazing work on our Facebook page, and thanks to Sarah, Danny, and Amy for their work moderating the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
Yep, and thanks again to our patrons.
So many patrons.
Who are amazing, and thank all of you for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Bye-bye.